Welcome back, guys, to another episode, and we're actually doing what we said we were going to do months ago, and we are going to replace the screen and display assembly on the phone. You can't really see it that well on camera, but there we go. Kind of see all them little lines all over it. Those are multiple cracks and chunks missing. This is my daily phone that I use, and I mentioned a couple of times my sister had the same phone, and basically either her battery or CPU started to fry out, and the phone just, I'm pretty sure it was the battery, just started shorting out, and it just kept constantly restarting, and there for a while it just wouldn't make calls, it wouldn't do anything. So what we're going to do is, we have her old phone, as you can tell I already started pulling the back off of it. We're going to take her screen and display assembly that has a glass screen protector on it also, and we are going to put it on ours. Basically, we're going to put a new screen and display assembly on it. Mine is all together for the most part, and you might have heard previously that this screen has actually been replaced before. This is actually the replacement screen, and it broke shortly after I got it replaced, so I got to replace it again. But the display was messed up from the original fall, and the guy never told me that the display needed to be changed also. So we're actually going to be changing the whole LCD touchscreen and display assembly is basically what we're going to do. So mine is very easy to get apart because it's been pulled apart before. My sister's hasn't been pulled apart since the factory. I just recently found out it was a remanufactured phone. So I'm going to show you guys a trick that you need to do, and I will show you what toolkit that I'm using here. I am actually using my brother's toolkit that he got from our local Walmart, and it has everything that you need to pull your phone apart. So this is a 17-piece hyper tough technical kit, I guess. It has the tools that you need to break the plastic part, well, not break, but to get it off. It has the tool to get your SIM card out. It has a suction cup to help pull on the screen and stuff easily and safely. It has all your different bits that you need, and the screwdriver that you need. And that's what we're getting. He got it from our local Walmart. I believe it runs about $12 to $15 after tax, so not too bad. Very good price. So I already did start pulling most of them apart to save time on the video. I pulled the screws and everything off of my phone already out of the back. I just put the back and everything back on, and as you can tell, the screen, touchscreen still works. So first thing you want to do is power your device off. So go ahead and turn it on, and then you just want to start powering it down, and click power down. And as you tell, it is, well, kind of, the screen's a little too bright, but that's powering down. Let's go ahead and grab our SIM tool that we need to get the SIM card out once it's fully powered down. And this was just the quickest, easiest angle to get, so I'm going to show you guys the best way that I can here. But you'll see your SIM card and micro SD card tray right here with the little hole in it. You just apply the end of this tool right there in the hole, and there we go. So then we just push, and it starts popping out. And you go ahead and put the tool away because you're done with that part. Go ahead and slide the SIM cards and everything out. And the next thing we need to do is pull the back off. So I'm actually going to try to find us a better angle, and that way you guys can actually see from the table what I'm doing. Okay, so we're just sticking with this angle. Other angles are just a pain right now. I want to get this done with. Okay, so you need to take your flathead. And start going along the edges of the phone. So kind of show you. Be very, very gentle. And then once you get it popped up, you just go down the sides, and if you hit one of the clips, move along to the other side, and you just see it start to pry open, and then just keep working it. Go down the side, and you hear the pop. So kind of try to show you here. Okay, that's not really happening. Okay, so just go down, you feel a clip, pull it out, move it up. You just want to pop it. And then you just keep going along with it. And okay, so there's a clip, go along to the other side. Just put it in how far the flat blade goes in. So like right here, don't put it in any further than that. Don't force it either, you're going to break your casing. Just like I did with this one the first time, well actually like the third time I pulled it apart. Okay, so pop it again. You want to make sure that you're not getting that touchscreen sensor in there, which you have to worry about that more on the other side. You can just hear it popping, and that's okay. It just means the clips are coming out of their place like they should. See how it's coming up now? And then just keep going around to the other side, do the same thing. Went a little too far on that one, but we're not on the connector side. This is the side I want to be careful with. Alright, got that corner up. So now we're just going to go along the side over here, which is mainly up. I think we got a couple more clips in the back. Trying to show this so you guys can see it, but also so I can see what I'm doing. Because if I can't see what I'm doing, then I can't show you guys the proper way to do it. Well, the way that I do it, anyways. Alright, you got one last clip back here. It's always the bottom clips on mine. There we go. And we got the case out. So once you get the case off, don't pull it off, because you see that connector right there. You don't want to pull it off from that connector or drop it like I just did. But I'm changing this backing out anyways because I already broke it. And then since we have the flat tip, it's like perfect. But there is a little casing that comes around right here. And there's two small little Phillips screws that you got to pull it off. And it will look like this. I'm holding the other screw port, but it will be covering that connector to make sure the connector doesn't loosen up and come out. So once you have that off, just carefully pull the connector up. Don't force it, just very, very carefully, just like that, and it will pop off just like mine did. So this is still savable, we can still reuse that. And then this is what the back looks like. It looks just like our other phone. So I already pulled out all the screws, but I'm going to show you where they were. There's one over here. There's one over here in this corner. The two for the plate. You have one down here. You got one over here. And one a little bit further down, but on the opposite side. And then right across from it, one down, one across, down, and again across, down, and across. And then you have one down here on the bottom. You have one right here, two over here, and another one over here, and your last one in this bottom corner. And then you can start removing the housing. Now, this phone, the housing is actually very strange. I always keep thinking it's right up here at the screen, and you start pulling it back. No, that's the display assembly. For the frame, or the housing, you go along this small little silver part right here, right where it meets the black. You kind of can't really tell just yet, but, and it is going to be a pain. So you might need to use your flathead for this. Be very, very careful, or if you can get one of those tools in there. I had to. Okay, so like I was saying, is you need to take the flathead and go right in between the frame and the display assembly. Now, the question is if I could do this on camera. And again, like I said, you want to be very careful because it will be to your battery and electronics after this point, and you really don't want to damage any of those. So find a spot that is nice and soft that will work for your phone. As you can tell, I'm having issues because this is a very smooth connection and you don't really have much room to work with. There we go. But once you get it in there, it's fine. I go more for my battery port because right up here at the tip of the plastic on the frame, it was cracked right here from one of the falls, so it's just easier to work with it over there. Alright, now I start getting it split apart, so now I like to use the smaller tool that comes in it, and it'll fit right in there nice and perfect, and you just go along the side and it will pop the connections, as you will tell here in just a second. Just work it down the side. You can hear it. And just already got one full side done. That's one thing I like about these tools. It does make it a lot easier when you can get them in there. Sometimes it is a straight pain to get these in there, so I'm trying my best to get this on camera, but it's also being a struggle. There we go. So now the frame will pull off from the display assembly. So let's go ahead and set the frame down, and now we need to start removing our battery and our motherboard, our front-facing camera, and the LCD and display ports. So let's go ahead and do that really quick. There should be one of the LCD and display is over here. They got a lot of connectors going on this one. I'm not exactly sure what all of it's for. I know the different cameras and stuff. Okay, so front-facing camera is right here. This is your front-facing camera. So we're going to go ahead and I can actually get in there with my nail. I'd rather do that. Just get in there and very gently pop the connection, and the camera will come out. You don't want to damage your lens or anything on the camera. Oh, come on, you connector. There we go. And there is your front-facing camera. Go ahead and set that off to the side so it doesn't get damaged. And apparently we only got one screw that is holding the motherboard in, and that's this screw right here. And you got your antenna wire that we're going to go ahead and pop off because we're taking the whole motherboard out. And remember, be very, very gentle with these. You don't want to end up ripping the connector out of the wire out of the connector, because then your problem got a whole lot bigger than just trying to replace your screen. So there is the antenna on the side. Let's go ahead and disconnect the battery, which is a simple one right here. And then I would suggest, if you're trying to pull the battery off, to go ahead and slightly heat it up with like a blow dryer far away or something to loosen the adhesive. But like I said, mine's already been pulled apart, so it is going to be a little gnarly to get it out, but not as bad as if you're doing this new. So let's go ahead and pop it out here. Oh. If you try to get the right angle, you don't want to bust it open either, because this is a lithium battery. That would not be good. Let me go ahead and get this out real quick. Alright, so got the battery out, and you can tell 1/4 did come up a little bit right here on this side. So that's very easy. Just mold it back. And don't go too far, but it is perfectly safe. So let's go ahead and set our battery off to the side, and what I did is I just used our little tool in the corner and just popped it up, and like I said, it's already been pulled apart before, so it basically just came out. Once you do it, the adhesive stays just good enough to keep it in. So these two, we just have to unconnect. They stay with the screen and display assembly. So let's pop those out. And then you got your volume button control wire over here. Let's go ahead and disconnect that connector, and that's for your power and volume. And then you got this one over here. I'm not too sure what goes to, but I do know it needs to be pulled off. I believe this is the connector to connect the port for the charging port and everything, to connect it all in. I'm not too sure though. And then let's go ahead and take out that one Phillips screw, which the flathead is like perfect for. So perfect little fit. And let's throw that back in the board, and let's go ahead and pull off the motherboard. Alright, everything is disconnected. We're not seeing any additional screws. You always want to double check, no matter if you watch a video on it or not, because all it takes is that one mishap and you just screwed yourself basically. And that's the last thing that I want to happen. Oh. And there goes our motherboard. Okay, so what that connector was the touchscreen connector, which is over here. You can tell by that little flap. I've made a video about something similar to this on, I know it's had quite a bit of views, but it was the how to fix an unresponsive touchscreen in a Samsung Galaxy Core Prime. I almost forgot what that one was. So the charging port we could basically leave because we could just use the one on the other phone, but I'm trying to salvage as much of this as I can for parts. But it does look like it actually stays with the aluminum display housing. And same with the speaker, looks like. Okay, so alright, yeah, we're just going to leave this charging port and speaker with this screen and display assembly, because I am actually going to keep this for parts. Yes, it is broken, but it still worked for the most part. It was just getting very irritating, and it does not have a screen protector, partially the reason why it looks like that. When our new one has no cracks in the actual screen, nothing wrong with the display, and it has a glass screen protector on it. So this is the one that we're going to be using. I'm going to tear it apart because we already showed you how, and I will show you guys how to put it back together, which is the same concept just in reverse. So setting this aside, and I'll see you guys in a minute. Okay, so in the process of pulling that phone apart, I definitely figured out what was wrong. Is her battery started to vent. I mean, look at that. That's not supposed to happen. It's supposed to be tight, like that. this is my battery. Like, that's when you know that you're having some big issues. So that tells me that mine's gonna go out here soon, because mine was starting to do this. But I mean, it still works, so it's something to keep around, I guess. Nope, actually it got punctured in a few spots. Ugh. Yeah, no, I think that's toast. So, good thing mine's still good. But yeah, almost done tearing this apart, and we'll start putting it back together. Alright, so we have our new screen and display assembly ready to go. We got the motherboard off, or CPU, whatever you want to call it. We left the charging port and everything on the bottom so we can have some good charging. And let's go ahead and put it back together. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is take your CPU, exactly how it came off, so just like this, and then you make sure you're not putting on any of the connectors, and make sure this one is down like it should be. Hers is taped down, mine was not, so I wonder if the guy screwed up something when he put my screen in. Probably, since he obviously did not plug in the front facing camera also, so I had to pull that apart, and the LCD was barely even plugged in. So yeah, basically out of all that, I had to pull my phone apart anyways and fix it. Alright, so let's get this in there. I just thought about this. I hope ours is the same model, because if not, we might have some more complications, which it doesn't seem like, if I get in the right holes. And if you're wondering what I mean by that, there are two little pretty much hold down spots that hold it into place. And I'm just trying to massage her into spots. There we go, I think we almost have it. Okay, a million tries later, we got the CPU in, and we have, oh, the antenna got stuck in the adhesive. Alright, there's the antenna. Got the antenna out, and what was happening was this plug over here was coming under the CPU while I was trying to plug it in and screwed in and everything, and this side was being a little pain in my butt, so I went ahead and just connected the connectors to help keep it down. Now we can go ahead and plug back in our antenna. So make sure the antenna is in the antenna valley that comes all the way up into the motherboard, and then you just plug it in. Again, you want to make sure it's in the valley for the antenna. And then next, you want to plug in your front-facing camera. So we've got ours right here. Just put it on down in there. I know, it doesn't help if you can't see. Just like so. And then you just want to plug the connector in, or you can lay it in the general spot, just like so. Plug the connector in, and then just push it down into place. Check all your connectors again before you move along and start plugging everything in. Alright, CPU seems like it is fully plugged in. Next, we can take our battery. For me, I'm just going to stick it right where it should. and just push it in, let the adhesive regrip, just like so, and then just plug your battery in. And then from here you can actually turn it on and see if it works. So there's the power button and the volume buttons. So let's just go ahead and manually click it on. I always like to do this at this stage and make sure we don't have any loose connections. So far we are powering it up. And with mine, it should jump back to my home screen, and if something went wrong and it's trying to read my sister's, it would bring up, or if I put the wrong CPU in, it'll bring up pretty much acting like it's brand new. And there's my start screen lock. So that lets me know that we are moving in the right path. Touchscreen's working. And there you go, start an Android. So far it is working on our ZTE X Max. And there you go. As you can tell, our CPU is in. It is registering touches. Scroll down. Alright, so everything seems to be working fine. Back buttons. Yep. Alright, so now we're good to go and close it up. So I'm going to power my device off. And then now we can put the outer frame on, and then we can put the backing on, and we are finished. Alright, all powered off, ready to go. Make sure that you have the lines for your buttons on the side with the buttons, and then you put that side down at an angle, kind of like so, and set it over each other, and then just snap it back together when it is in place, just like you see me doing here. Apparently I got one connector on her casing that's not wanting to close on this side, but that will be fixed when we put the screws in. So now let's go ahead and add the screws. I'm going to do that off camera because we're already running really long on this video. Okay, so finally got all the screws put in, and it did suck in that side a little bit better, the way it should. Now we can take our backing, which I am taking the nice backing that came off of my sister's. Basically, it is my sister's phone, just my CPU and battery. That's basically what I did. So we are going to take the connector and now plug the touchscreen connector into its port right there, which is over here. It's kind of hard to tell on camera. Alright, so let's go ahead and plug it in, and then we can screw in the plate, and we should be about done after that. So let's get this connector in there if it wants to work with me. It's always one of the most stupidest connectors. Always had problems with this connector. Every time I've had to pull this phone apart. Ah, there we go. Alright. So, got the connector in where it goes right here. And make sure it's a nice, good connection. Now we're going to put on our plate. Which goes in on this side. And then we want to just start screwing it down. Try to do this the best way I can. least get the screws started so they don't fall out. Not like I don't have spares, but that's besides the point. Okay, and you kind of see the connector, or the plate right here that keeps the connector nice and snug, and then you just tighten it down. With this phone, definitely tighten the screws. You don't have to like force it to where you're about to break the phone, but you do want to make sure they're tight, because last time I did not, all of my screws were loose around my phone. So once that is together, then just line the backing up and you just click it back together, and you'll hear it click in. If she's having some issues, oh, there we go, you just go down the line and they'll all snap in and just go back through and just work your way around the phone. And I believe that is all of them. Nope, got one or two over here. There we go. Hers is basically a lot newer or better condition than mine. Mine's been pulled apart quite a few times. Alright, and there we go. Got it all back together. Now let's take our SIM card and SD card. Gotta realign them in our tray here. And then stick your SIM card tray in the SIM card slot. And then power up your device. And there you go, guys. That is a complete LCD display assembly swap on a ZTE Blade X Max. And you do want to make sure that you got the right model. For one, that was one thing I didn't check, and I don't think we do have the same model. That's mainly why I used her backing and everything again. But it's kind of weird I made it sound that time. But yeah, everything went together fine. The CPU is working nicely, and I don't care if you guys see it. Everything seems nice and smooth the way it should. Starting up Android, it's working, and it's so nice seeing this thing with a clear screen again. It's a huge difference. You can't see a big difference on camera, but there's a huge difference. I am beyond the point of ecstatic right now. It's just nice. So finally, thank you to my sister, we now have a new LCD and display. And as you can tell, it is firing up, it is moving, it is working. Scroll up and hit these buttons. Everything is working the way it should. So I hope this video helped you guys, If so, please leave a like and don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell. That way you can stay tuned with some of our newest videos, and definitely be looking forward to more of some Westland survival episodes. We are going to be doing some more of gameplay videos of Last Day on Earth, Grim Souls, and hopefully some PUBG. But that's it for me today. I'm going to check out, and I'll catch you guys later. Thank you for watching, and have a good one.